Hi everybody, welcome to Sharon's Home and Garden. Today I'm coming to you from inside my greenhouse because finally we are getting enough sun here, so my greenhouse is heated all day long almost. And it is a brisk 38 degrees outside, but in here it is a lovely 65 degrees. So while it's still too cold for me to plant anything out here because I don't heat this greenhouse, in about 2 weeks I will be able to come out here and plant my peas. So they will be just fine out here. And I did this last year and I got a really nice crop of peas that I grew in here. It takes them a long time to germinate because our nights are still really cold. But you could do it. But for today, we're just going to have to stick with the indoor seed starts. And I'm going to do a little bit of transplanting and a little bit of seed starting for the next crop, which will be my spicy peppers. So join me inside and we will take a look at some of our new seed starts for this month. I changed my mind. We're gonna stay out here for the video. I'm gonna give my seed starts a little bit of sun, and I won't leave them out here. Probably they're in the greenhouse. I could probably leave them out here an hour. I'm probably gonna shoot for 45 minutes though. So one of the things, here's my other ones, that I have this year, my problem this year, there always seems to be a problem, is I have fungus gnats. Look at that. And I think it is this seed starting mix. This was the Purple Cow seed starting mix. And it's got fungus gnats in it. So I took some plants that I had on my countertop and took them downstairs while I was on vacation because I had my son and daughter-in-law come over and water, and now I can't bring them back up because I'm afraid they'll spread fungus gnats to all my plants. So a couple good things. Look what I got there. These are the Tiny Tim tomatoes. They're just starting to flower. Let me pull this one out. He's looking pretty good. I have to admit that I had these watered once while I was gone on vacation. So that's about 8 inches there. He's 8 inches tall. I probably should have had them watered twice. But they all survived. None of them were falling over wilted while I was gone. These ones, all of these have all been transplanted. I need to pick some of these, like the celery. This parsley needs to be picked. The basil needs to be picked. Look at this cute little basil. Isn't this just adorable? This, I believe, is the piccolino basil. It's just adorable. Tiny little plants. Oh, this smells so good. Aren't they adorable? The basil's looking really good. The thyme's looking really good. I'm gonna trim all these down. This one's not looking so good. Dark opal basil. That basil did not do very well. The dark opal basil. Oh, fungus gnats. So I went out and bought some diatomaceous earth, that I pronounce it, and I'm going to sprinkle it on everything to kind of control the fungus gnat situation. Hopefully that'll work. I've been using neem oil, and neem oil has not been working. I don't think I was very good about it. So like this lavender is very slow growing. It's doing like I expect it to do. However, this celery, it hasn't gotten much bigger in a really long time. So I think I'm going to take a couple of these and put them, transplant them, and hope that that will kind of give me more growth. Because if they don't grow, then I'm going to have to start them over again. And out of the way, Tim. The alpine strawberries are doing very good. I'm going to transplant those. I'm going to transplant these strawberries. They got a little dry when I was on vacation. Hopefully they're okay. This one might be dead here. That one might be dead. We'll see. And see what happens. These were old seeds. I really don't have that much invested in them. But the celery kind of worries me. That's that. And that. Plus they're infested. So rosemary is doing pretty good. That's another slow grower like lavender. So we'll get these all transplanted today, and then I can see if I have to restart my celery or not. Worst case scenario, there's a guy at the farmer's market who grows really good celery. I'll buy some from him. Look at that. Fungus gnats. Ugh, I do not like fungus gnats. So these guys are going to get a little sun today. It is, let's see how warm it is here. Can you see that? 74 degrees in here. I am way overdressed for in here. Onions are doing really good, but they're really tall. Look how tall they are. Look at that. Back up a little bit. This is how I grow my onions every year. And they've never gotten this tall. So I was at Menards last night and I bought some grow lights, some actual grow bulbs. And I'm going to put them under those grow bulbs in hopes that they don't get any taller, but that they start thickening, like down here. Where's my finger? There. Down at the stem there. I want them to start thickening. I've got probably 2 months. Well, no, not 2 months. 6 weeks before they'll be able to go out on the ground. So, and these, this one here, this is from my Meyer lemon seeds that I put in there. I just noticed that. I got 2 little sprouts. And there's another one over here. Can't see it. See that little one right there. So I was about to give up on these. And you go away on vacation and you come back and look what happens. So these particular rosemaries here, these are clones from my plant that I've had for about 5 years. And I decided not to bring that plant in this year. I decided instead to let it stay out all winter. It'll die because I don't think rosemary is zone 5 compatible. And but they're doing really well. Really nice little happy plants. They look really good. And all of them are doing well. I was able to give a couple of these to friends of mine. So my plant will live on. And some of this oregano, this is creeping. Some of it's, did I get creeping oregano? I think I did. It looks really good. It has to be trimmed because I'm sure it's trying to bust out of the pot. It looks really good. Parsley. Well, look at this parsley. Isn't this cool? This is triple curled parsley. Look how curly it is. I love curly parsley. Here's one. He definitely needs to be trimmed. So the oregano is doing really well. I started this oregano from seed, which I've never done before, and I've given a bunch away. And they're doing really good. Now, if you look at this basil back here, nope, that's not it. That's oregano. Oh, here, look at this. See that mottling on there? This tells me that this has some kind of deficiency, because usually oregano doesn't look like that. And it's not a special kind of oregano because I don't have it labeled. I did not label my oregano because it was just regular old oregano. So I'll give these all a really good drink of fertilizer and maybe put some Epsom salt in there. And that will, hopefully that will help that. So, and here's some parsley. This definitely needs to be trimmed up. I'll just chop them right off and they'll grow right back. This needs water too. All right, so I've got my work cut out for me. I will give you an update when I'm all done. Talk to you in a little bit. So I wanted to do a quick little demonstration on how I transplant. Okay, we're good. Squeeze the bottom of this and I kind of turn it over. Try to be gentle. These are dry, so you don't want them too wet, but they shouldn't be this dry. I think these will be much happier. One more here. Okay. Now normally I would incorporate this dirt into the rest of it, but it is not going back in the house because it's got fungus gnats in it. So I've got a container here that I put the excess dirt in, and then these I wash them out with bleach water unless they're really broken. This one's not too bad, but I'm cheap that way. I like to reuse stuff over and over. So this will stay here, and I keep all the ones that I've used separate and wash them all in one big washing. So I have this little, what is this, 4-inch pot, and I'll fill it up with potting soil. I don't pack it, and I just make a hole in here. This is moistened potting soil, and I stick that in there and pat it down like that. And that's transplanted. And then this is the watch out, diatomaceous earth. And they said you're supposed to like sprinkle it on, and this is the closest thing I could find. So hopefully that'll do the trick. If not, I don't know what I'm going to do. So alpine strawberries, and I will do that for the rest of the plants I have. Except for, now if you look at this, notice there are, like in this little, there's a bunch of different plants in here. These really germinated well. So what I'm going to do is clip these so there's only like 1 or 2 in here. Just go in here, pick and choose. There. And then I just kind of loosen up the roots, and then I will transplant those. So the ones that need thinning, I'll thin. The ones that don't, I won't. All right, let me finish these up and I'll be right back. that transplanting done. Now I need to trim some of these because they're not getting leggy, they're just growing, which is what they're supposed to do. And I set my scissors down and now I can't find it. Okay, I found it. So I always trim like right before a V, like that. Now, oregano is a perennial in my zone, but the oregano I had died because I had it in a spot that doesn't get sun until, oh, it still hasn't got sun. So I'm going to move this to a different location, and I might cut this one down further. And hopefully it'll stay, because I think the other one just didn't get enough sun in the spring. So that looks good. I'm making an Italian dish tonight, and these herbs will be really good in that Italian dish. So I'm going to what I like to do with my parsley is gather it up and slice it. It seems rather drastic, but it works. See these little leaves in here? Those will all grow. Get some of the dead stuff out of there. And will be fine. It'll all come back. The same as this one. Gather it all up. Chop it off. It smells so good. Reminds me of summer. I can't wait for summer. Yummy. Okay. This is German time. This is regular time. Oh, I wish you could smell it. Here, scratch your screen and smell it. Yum! I just love the way herbs smell. Again, I'm not going to clip each and every little one. Gather it up and chop it off. Just giving them a haircut. It's like those summer haircuts parents used to give their boys. Every summer they used to get their heads shaved. There you go. So I'm not too terribly careful with the time. It'll all grow back. Perfect. This little guy, I showed you him earlier. Gosh, so beautiful. Oh, smells so good. It almost smells like a, what is it, other basil? Genovese basil. That's what it smells like. This is summer long basil. This one is starting to flower. We don't want them to flower. Aren't they beautiful? I love growing herbs in the winter. It gives me hope that summer will eventually come. This is, I'll have to make some this is called Elydia basil. I'll have to make some bruschetta, or as some Italians say, bruschetta. There we go. He's gonna do just fine. This one, it's just called Italian flatleaf parsley, aside from the fact that it's really dry. I'll cut it way back. You can see how dry it is. I'll be watering all of these. Look at my tomatoes. These are Tiny Tim tomatoes. Last year I got fruit on them when I had them inside. So he's doing pretty well. I think I'm going to put these in a bigger pot because I'm seeing some roots here. Let's see what happens. Yeah, he's ready for a bigger pot. So I'll transplant these into a bigger pot. I have 3 of these left. And I'll transplant them like to there. And I'm getting, can you see flowers on these? So if you're inside, you don't have wind and you don't have insects. So all you have to do is grab them and just shake them like this. And that'll pollinate the flowers. Here, he's got some nice flowers on him. Just shake it. And that'll pollinate them for you. There we go. Okay, I will transplant these. I think we're done with the herb trimming. We're done with the transplanting. The next thing I have to do is get my pepper seeds in the ground. So I'm probably going to have to do that this week sometime because I ran out of time. How is that possible? So there we go. Got them transplanted. I will put some I water them really good, and then I will put some more of this diatomaceous earth on them just to make sure. Now I've got the Pro Mix potting soil over the top, but you just never know. Once those fungus gnats get in your garden, you just never know. So better safe than sorry. Hopefully I can nip them in the bud, and I'm never going to buy that potting soil again. I can tell you that. So that's about it for this episode of Sharon's Home and Garden. The thermometer says it's 90 degrees in here. I don't think it is. I think it's because it was in the sun. But it's probably about 70, 75 in here. I had the, well, this is open, so it's probably close to, I don't know, 75, 80, something like that. All I know is it's nice to be out and doing things in the sunshine and in a t-shirt and not having to worry about freezing or messing up the house. I just cleaned my house yesterday, so I really just wanted to keep all this dirt out of the house because no matter how careful I am, I always end up making a mess. It's just inevitable. So hope you enjoyed this episode. To all of you who have subscribed so far, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. It's a lot of work to get a YouTube channel off the ground, and hopefully we'll have some really good things coming up this summer to show you how all these plants do, along with everything else that I'm going to be planting within the coming weeks. So Easter is a week away, and then I have the whole month of April to grow seeds. And then in the month of May is when I can finally get outside and start planting. So I'm looking forward to that. So until next time, always remember, be it ever so humble, there's no place like home. Have a great day, everybody. Bye-bye.